Good morning and welcome to 50 and Starting a Business. Today we're going to discuss 16 jobs, good jobs that actually can turn into careers where you don't need a college degree. Everyone says a college degree isn't necessary anymore, and I agree. There are some great opportunities out there. So let's get started. So the first opportunity is what I do. YouTube creator. Now, actually, this is just a hobby. I make $0, but people do turn this into a huge business. You can probably Google, who makes $1 million, on YouTube and things of that nature. So it is possible. It's a lot of hard work, but yeah, you don't need a college degree. And in fact, there's a gentleman that I was watching the other day, and he started making money when he was 15, and I think he's 21 now, and he's like a millionaire. Kudos to him. Along the lines of a YouTube creator are a blogger or a vlogger. Blogger's not as lucrative as it was in the past because people have YouTube channels, but a lot of times they marry the YouTube channels and the vlogging and the blogging, and they create a nice career out of it. Option number 3 is transportation. Now this kind of is like a whole wide thing, right? You could work for Lyft or Uber, you could be a taxi driver, you could deliver packages with UPS and FedEx and DHL. You could do Instacart and deliver groceries. And I think I'm leaving some things out, but there's a whole bunch of opportunities when just long haul truckers, right? You could actually, be a trucker. I do know several people that have done that and they loved it. The one gentleman who has some great stories from his trucking days actually has a master's in journalism, but he was trying to pay off his loans and he became a trucker. So number 4 is computer programming. Again, I think you can get some training in that and these certificate programs. I know there's a lot when I had graduated college of people that opted not to go to college and went into computer programming. Realtor. Most towns have realtors. You don't need a college degree. You do need to get a license to be a realtor. Back in the day, I heard it cost $500 to get that realtor license. I don't know if I would imagine it's more than that now. But yeah, realtor, you can, if you are a successful realtor, if you hustle, if you're in a town where the prices are high and there's turnover, being a real estate agent is a great job. This one I thought was funny when I was kind of doing my research because it made me a little nervous, but air traffic controller. I don't know why I would think you would need a college degree for that. You don't, but you do need to get licensed and certified, and there's courses you have to take. But people make absolutely wonderful careers out of being air traffic controllers. Then you also have elevator and escalator installers. Because of the safety issues that surround elevators and escalators, again, you do need to take a course, but you can have a very nice career and very nice lifestyle off of being an installer. This one I've actually heard is quite lucrative. It's plumbing. A friend of mine is an architect and he goes, you have no idea what these successful plumbers can make. And again, I think with any career, if you're among the best, you can do very, very well and make a lot of money. And a lot of times the plumbers that make a lot of money are the ones that start their own businesses. So one of the when I was doing research, one of the job opportunities was an entrepreneur. And I was like, how is that a job opportunity? It doesn't tell you what you're doing. But in general, when you own your own business, even if it's a real estate agency, my aunt, she actually did go to college. I don't think she didn't graduate, but she became a realtor and then she opened up her own business and then she had other realtors working for her. So you do not need a college degree for that, but it's the hustle. It's the hustle, it's the work ethic, it's the dedication. Again, this is another scary one. To me, it's really scary. I think it would be really scary to do and really scary thinking that nuclear reactor operators do not need college degrees. Again, there are courses you need to take and certifications you need to take. But yeah, you can be a nuclear reactor operator and make good money. And I think part of why you make good money is because it sounds a little dangerous. So whenever you have danger involved in a job, you get a premium for your pay. So for example, my father in the summer times when he was in college, he had to finance his college himself. So he worked on high tension wires. So where you climb up those big metal things and you're dealing with all the wires and back in the day when he did it. So my dad right now is 85. So we're talking, 65 years ago or 60 years ago or whatever the number is. 65 years ago. There were no safety harnesses. He literally just, climbed up on his, and dealt with the wires. But he said he did it because it paid the most. It was like the best paying summer job he could get, and he just wanted to make as much money as he could to help, so he could work less during this school year for college. Industrial machine mechanic. So I think when you're dealing with the level of knowledge and sophistication that you need to do a job, the more you're going to get paid. So, if you take fixing the guy that fixes the wash machine or to the guy that fixes the car, and you get more complex in machinery, there's more knowledge or more skill or education that you need to get to do a job, the more you're going to get paid. So you deal with a specific industrial machine, and you're the mechanic for it, you're going to get paid higher. A commercial and private pilot. Granted, you are not allowed to go up on an airplane and fly people around unless you have a license. There's strict regulations around flying the planes, but you do not need a college degree for that. So if you have any interest in being a pilot or a private pilot, you can make a very, very nice career out of it. And I'm sure you've heard on the news when they have strikes, they have very, very good benefits. There's very strict rules around how much they can work, how many days off they have, and all that. So yeah, people have wonderful careers and wonderful families that are financed from being a pilot. So this one kind of goes with a whole bunch of kind of things that you can sandwich into one little area. And this is a radiation therapist. Now, again, a radiation therapist is going to make more than a medical technician or a dental hygienist, which also makes good money, by the way. Medical sonographer makes good money as well. But when you're dealing with radiation, which we all know is cancer causing and is dangerous, you're getting a premium for being a radiation therapist. So as long as you don't, you follow the safety precautions and you don't mind a little bit of risk, but I think that risk is mitigated, right? Because you have the vest, at least when I've had x-rays done or MRIs done, people are standing they're in another room and they press that button to have things done. But yeah, you will get a premium in the healthcare area if you're dealing with radiation. So radiation therapist is a good job. And along with that is a medical sonographer, which actually doesn't deal with radiation, but they get a little bit of a premium for the technique that's required to take a good sonogram. I mean, the only times I've had sonograms were for babies. Oh, that's not true. They had to check out something when I was having a mammogram done. So they followed the mammogram up with a sonogram. And again, the next position is a web developer. So you have to have the knowledge. You have to be able to do it. That is a skill. I don't have the skill to be a web developer, even though I did go to college. But you will have to either learn it on your own, which is quite possible. I mean, a lot of the computer stuff you can self-teach, whether it is watching other YouTube videos or reading stuff up. There's a lot of free information these days to learn how to do these things. This is fun. I think this is fun. Makeup artist. So no one's going to ever hire me to do makeup. I'm wearing some, by the way. I don't think you can tell. But, there are people that are quite talented at makeup artists. I mean, part is I can't even draw. So, even if I watched a billion videos, I'm not going to be a good makeup artist. But yeah, there are people that are very talented in that. And that is a skill, and people get hired for that. And you don't need a college degree for that. And my last but very least also doesn't need a degree. And it is also something nobody would ever hire me for. And that is a stylist. And I'm grouping in there a stylist in terms of how you dress. My daughter thinks this sweater jacket of mine is very frumpy looking and makes me look old, but I like it. I like the colors and it's comfy. Or an interior designer. And this is probably the nicest part of my house. Not so much that the rest of the house isn't nice, but I don't really stage things. I guess because I have 4 teenage kids that kind of, if I move things in a nice place, they move them over. Or my daughter's cat just likes to knock things down. So you're like, oh, that's a really nice candlestick. And then you hear it fall and then it breaks. And then now I've got a candlestick with no candle. Anyway, those are the 16 jobs that are out there. Obviously, there's a lot more than 16, but these are higher paying jobs. But again, you need to be, among the best of what you do. If you have an opportunity to be an entrepreneur and work for yourself and start up your own business versus working for somebody else, that's going to make it a lot more lucrative for you. Sometimes you actually work for someone else. Like I worked for Morgan Stanley. I learned the ropes. I learned what products they have. I utilized their huge knowledge banks and training courses to take